Hey everybody, and Tony here with a review of Vivre sa vie, film en deux tableaux, known in English as To Live Her Life, film in 12 scenes, which I saw at the Kino Babylon and which was released on September 20, 1962. This film was directed, written, and edited by Jean-Luc. It was produced by Pierre Bromberger. The cinematography was done by Roy Coutard. The music was composed by Michel Legrand. The co-editor was Agnès Guillemot, and it starred the talents of Anna Karina, Sadie Rebaud, André S. Labarthe, Guylaine Schlumberger, Monique Messine, Gérard Dorfman, and Brice Parrain. Now, much like the other films I saw, I did not grow up with this film, but when I saw that this film was directed by Jean-Luc Godard, who also had a go at editing and writing this film, as well as some music composed by Michel Legrand, I knew that this was a film I had to go check out immediately. And it also helped that the other film that I reviewed, Alphaville, also starred Anna Karina, and this was released 3 years before she starred in that film. And after watching this film in its entirety, I was immediately hooked by everything that the story had to offer, and especially involving one character, Nana, whose journey I was completely immersed in terms of it being told in 12 vignettes. As I stated before, the story of Vivre sa vie is told in 12 scenes, as the title suggested. Each scene shows 22-year-old Nana go through her everyday life, from trying to make it as a music shop worker, only to want her dreams of being an actress to be realized, but it could no longer be accomplished, so she has to have a go at trying to prostitute herself through a pimp, and also encountering the men and the friends she meets in her daily life, and everything about her life that she wants to keep living, in spite of that dream of becoming an actress not coming true, thus having to make her living as a prostitute who is nonetheless trying to enjoy what life has to offer her. And I dare not spoil the ending, but let's just say that it is rather heartbreaking, and it's very sad to the point where you want to root for Nana, but it just doesn't end up working so well. So the story definitely has a lot going for it, even with its runtime of barely 90 minutes. I was definitely intrigued to see Nana's young journey, from this girl who has this job in the music store to her aspirations of becoming an actress, and even to that one moment where she watches Joan of Arc at the stake starring Ingrid Bergman. And I was completely blown away by what the story had to offer, as this chronicles the tale of a young woman who wants to live her life to the fullest, yet at the end it felt like it was pretty much all for naught, which I dare not spoil, but as I stated before, the ending will definitely put you in a state of a lot of sadness. But it's still a well-woven story with all of the 12 scenes that it had to offer, and I was completely immersed in Nana's journey. The cinematography was absolutely brilliant, and it also helped that it used the footage from Joan of Arc's execution to parallel that of Nana's young life, especially when death comes knocking at her door. It's something that leaves the viewer with a lot of existential questions of one's purpose in the universe, how much he has to live for, and how much time does any person have to make the best of what life has to offer, and to even make the best of any situation that comes along his or her way. It's a film that makes me realize my own goals and dreams in life, and how much the prospect of death does seem to bother me as well. And I have to give it to the people behind the cinematography, especially Roy Coutard, for shooting each scene masterfully and for conveying each of the characters' emotions and circumstances with wonderful detail. And when one expects a slice of life film to be directed by Jean-Luc Godard, one would always expect long shots of the characters expressions and reactions to be used, even while the other character is talking off screen, to convey the unfiltered, unadulterated thoughts and thought processes of each of the characters involved in this movie. As we expected from a composer such as Michel Legrand, the music was absolutely wonderful. One particular musical highlight was the moment where Nana turns on the jukebox and she jives to this jazz number while being so happy and so frivolous, thus showing a lot of youth and innocence that is brimming within her. And I thought that particular moment managed to capture Nana's jovial nature, her love for life, and her vivacity all in one wonderful small scene. That definitely spoke volumes to me as I was able to laugh with her and I was able to feel so much joy within that one scene that I was definitely rooting for her, and I felt like I was on cloud nine. Talking about the characters is talking about Nana. She's a 22-year-old young woman who has a job working as one of the workers in a music store. However, she doesn't really feel too satisfied with that and wants to have her luck at being an actress. She does have her headshots being used for some agents, but her dreams of becoming an actress are kind of dashed out the window when she ends up taking a job as a prostitute by a pimp. But she's still a young woman who has a lot of vivacity in her system and who would love to be with people and live her life and just savor each and every moment. And I thought that Nana is a character I could definitely relate to, especially in that one moment where she was watching a segment of Joan of Arc, that she was even crying for Joan of Arc when she was about to be executed. I felt for her in that moment, and I was completely invested in her story throughout all the 12 scenes she was involved. And the other characters have also served their purpose alongside Nana, from the likes of Roy and Paul, who managed to further Nana's career as a prostitute and also trying to touch her in many ways she never thought possible, to her friends found in Elisabeth and Yvette, who are nonetheless trying to empathize with her and also share their sides of the story alongside Nana, and even to the much older gentlemen in the forms of the chief and the philosopher, especially that of the philosopher, who may have come later in the film, but was nonetheless really entertaining to watch, especially when he is so down to earth and so attentive towards Nana. So overall, the characters have their own quirks and own sense of being likability and own sense of charm that make me want to root for them, especially that of our titular heroine. The acting is just as credible, with Anna Karina leading the helm as a very young, capricious, and flighty young woman who would love to live her life and who would love to make her dreams come true. She's someone I have been rooting for, and what was also quite funny was that she stated that Nana starred alongside Eddie Constantine in a film, which is also quite hilarious considering that 3 years later, Anna Karina was also going to star alongside Mr. Constantine in Alphaville. I thought that was a rather interesting inside joke. So with that dimension found within Miss Karina as Nana, I was definitely able to find myself glued to her as she was able to give off such a spellbinding performance, and a performance that I was able to say that she was completely natural and that she inhabited the character with everything that she was. We also had such equally fine performances from Zadie Rebaud's charming, handsome, and dashing Roll, André S. Labard's equally fine Paul, Ghislaine Schlumberger's down-to-earth Yvette, Monique Messine's absolutely gorgeous Elisabeth, Gerard Hoffman's boss, in which he was able to embody him with a lot of professionalism and with a very strong screen presence. And of course, the very actor who stole the show, Brice Parrain as the philosopher, as every single bit of dialogue from his mouth was absolute gold. So overall, Vivre sa vie film en 12 tableaux was absolutely brilliant. I was able to root for Nana from beginning to end, and Jean-Luc Godard's masterful writing skills, as well as Roy Coutau's excellent skills as a cinematographer, as well as Michel Legrand's score, managed to make this film as strong as it is. And for that, I give this film a well deserved rating of 5 out of 5 stars. This is definitely a must watch if you are a fan of Anna Karina and if you are a fan of stories consisting of vignettes that manage to find something that weaves everything together. And for those of you who watched Vivre sa vie, film en 12 tableaux, what'd you think of it? Did you really love Anna Karina's way of conveying all of Nana's personalities and all of Nana's whims and charms and everything that she is as a character? Was there another actor who stole the show from her thunder? Or did you feel like the overall execution from this film was not really to your liking? Comment below and let me know. Well, that's all for now. Be sure to tune in much later where I review yet another Jean-Luc Godard film, and that is Weekend, also at the Kino Babylon. So until then, have a great day, everybody.